22 minutes past 7. A new campaign is calling for drivers to slow down to 20 miles an hour around homes, schools and shops in order to improve road safety for pedestrians.
But are lower speed limits effective at reducing accidents? Simon Clemenson is our reporter who we sent to Bristol this morning to find out. Morning, Simon.
Very good morning to you both. Well, I don't know about you, but when I was learning to drive, I was always taught that if the lampposts get closer together, you need to slow down to 30. In fact, here in this suburb of Bristol, you need to go down to 20. I think you can possibly see that little plate in the distance there. Nothing new in that, or in fact in a council trying to reduce the limit on all its residential streets. But what if every local authority did the same and there was a blanket 20-mile-an-hour limit in all built-up areas? Well, that is what road safety campaigners like Brake want to see. Whether they will, whether it's a good idea, are now two key questions. Britain once had a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit on all roads. The average car couldn't go much faster at the start of the last century. Since then, towns and cities have been designed with the car in mind. But to try to reduce the number of accidents involving children, by the end of the last century, some drivers were back down to 20. And this is where it all started, Raby Street, Sheffield. It may not look like the forefront of road safety policy today, but in 1991 it was named the first 20-mile-an-hour zone.
There's not speeding about and no kids are getting hurt and stuff like that, so it's a good thing.
And do you think people stick to the speed limit?
I don't think they stick to the speed limit. Although they do slow down, I don't think they actually go to 20 miles per hour, which is the problem.
But some worry about these signs popping up everywhere. Welcome to the new speed debate. In Leicestershire, these campaigners want a 20 limit outside their school.
We've tried a number of other methods. We tried traffic calming. We recently undertook a community speed watch scheme, and the numbers, whilst we've been aware that cars and lorries speed, the numbers were staggering, absolutely frightening.
And do you think it would be enforced if you did have a 20-mile-an-hour zone here?
Well, I would hope, with the main road is 30 miles an hour at the moment. People are generally going through at 38, 40. I would hope that if we had a 20-mile-an-hour limit, we might get them down to 30.
And the government has smoothed the way over the years, giving local councils greater powers over speed. Here in Birmingham, they're looking at whether to significantly increase the number of roads in built-up areas which carry a 20-mile-an-hour limit. And it won't be the first big city in Britain to do that. But how much of a shift is there from 30 to 20? Portsmouth has reduced the limit on almost all its residential streets, but other local authorities haven't gone as far. The question is whether they should, whether 20 should become the norm in built-up areas.
Our members would definitely condone driving at 20 miles an hour in the right areas. Those examples around schools, around high accident areas, absolutely. I think to make a blanket approach, would that really help keep traffic moving all the time, which is what we all really want? I'm not sure it would.
The Department for Transport sees it as a decision which is best made locally in England and Wales. Other parts of the UK have also been introducing local schemes. Whether 20 replaces 30 for now will be decided town by town by town. Well, I say town by town by town. I think I saw quite a few of them in that report. Well, I'm joined here in Bristol now by Ben Barker and by Martin Evans from the Institute of Advanced Motorists. Ben Barker, you were involved in setting up the scheme here. I'm no policeman, but they don't seem to be all sticking to the 20 here. Is it working?
It's not working in the sense that you switch a light on and you put a notice up and suddenly people drop 10 miles an hour.
But it's a change over time thing.
It's a change over time. It started to slow down, and if you think of when we introduced drink driving and seat belts, that sort of generation, before it became common sense.
Does it need a bit more enforcement, do you think?
Well, enforcement will be good, but the police quite rightly say they're doing other things, so it's actually difficult to have a policeman on every corner. It would be a bit costly.
Yeah. Martin, you're not against a scheme here in Bedminster?
In principle. I think the issue really is that the speed limit's got to match the road. So if it's a wide open road, maybe like this in an evening or a Sunday, I think 20 is a little bit too slow. Whereas a side road, where you've got lots of on-street parking, you just need to keep the speed down, and most normal drivers, most good drivers would do that in any case.
It only takes one child, doesn't it, to sort of run out of one house, even if it is a sort of quieter area?
Absolutely. So we'd be encouraging people to do further driver training, so that regardless of the speed limit, they're driving at an appropriate speed for the limit.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Well, some agreement here in Bristol. I have to say it's progress, because when they first met this morning, they could only agree on a 70 limit on the M32.
Oh.
All right.
Simon, thanks very much. Lots of response on that. Bring you some of that later on in the programme.
But coming up on the programme,